What's up, you guys? It is Mary.
And Alma.
And today we are going to be reviewing the Courtship. Yes. It is our fan favorite. And we are back with the foolishness. But before that, we implore you guys to like,
share,
subscribe,
and comment
down below. Because I know y'all finna be hot in that comment section. Okay, honey? But Nicole,
let's just
you played yourself.
Let's just start from the beginning. How everything went down.
All right, so she is smiling. She is skipping herself on in after she spent her hot and heavy nights with Lincoln. Yes. And she says to the camera, I spent the night with Lincoln. The passion is there. We had clarity. The conversation was there. It was wonderful. She's all happy. She's all on cloud 9. And they're asking her how it went and everything and stuff like that.
And she wants to change him.
Yeah, she thinks that she can be his rehabilitation center. Why would you, as a grown woman, want to be a rehabilitation center for a grown man?
I don't even think she's aware of that. I think she was just saying that she wants to change him. And you can't change people. You can only change yourself.
How many times has this been proven? I just need one woman in the comment section to just say, yes, I was that. Let me know if you have been a woman who has tried to change a man. Yeah. And let me know if it has worked out.
No one is going to change if they don't want to change.
Yeah.
Men or women, if they are not ready to change anyway,
you
can't make them change. So they had the event where they were going to work with their hands, who was going to milk a goat,
so they're going to make their own food,
beehive, make cheese, right? And what else did they feed the chickens, and and what the ducks, put the ducks in their pen or whatever. Anywho, and so Nicole will help each man do part of that task, and then at the end, the guy will go and talk to either Nicole's parents or Miss Clary or Nicole's sister.
So
yeah.
I think Tessa was with Cones, the mother was with Bokikio, and the father was with Judge, which we really didn't see that.
No, Mr. Bokikio was with the sister.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the father was with Mr. Judge.
And Chapman was with the mom.
Chapman was with the mom, yeah.
Yes, but they all got to spend a little bit of time with Nicole.
And Cones was with Miss Cleary.
Yes, but of course, at first they showed her kind of with Mr. Judge, and she said, the thing is with him, I think he could be a great guy and everything.
And a great father, she
yes,
also said.
But I have not gotten that thing where we are laughing, bowling over, and it's just a really good, fun time, so she wants that.
But then when she was with him with the ducks, she also said that he now is a front runner. Because she is seeing this nice side of him, this laughing side, the fun side of him.
He wasn't a front runner. He's like maybe one. He's like
she
third.
She said front runner. I was shocked.
That.
She said so. She said
he's the only secure option.
The front runner, and I was like, what? And she's like, he is doing exactly what I had told him to do. That I wanted to see the fun side, and he is bringing it.
Well, let me say this.
I was like,
he is the only one who is serious. I know Mr. Bokikio says there's nobody who's more committed than me. You have told her on several occasions you do not want commitment.
Yeah.
You are not ready for it. You think it's scary as SHIT.
Yeah.
So how are you more committed than Mr. Judge? Yeah. Mr. Judge is her best option. She has sent home Mr. Hunter. She has sent home Mr. Nasir. And you are like... Next to Lincoln, you're worse. Yeah. You're like right there.
A jerk. Like he can.
He is a whole a-hole and does not respect the family. And if a man don't respect your family, he damn sure ain't gonna respect you.
And all that pinched nose stuff that he does.
Like that look of disgust whenever he looks at the parents. I don't know what the hell that is.
I don't know if it's like a self-depreciating.
It's disgust.
You just don't really know. But in this, when he was talking to her, he seemed, for the first time to me, he seemed to be a little more vulnerable than he has ever been. For the first time to me.
I still don't make a difference.
When he was just trying to, and I think he was really holding back from really telling her what he was really feeling and how hurt he was by the fact that she continues to entertain Mr. Chapman in
Well,
her
he was
boudoir.
really upset about the overnight stays. But we talked about Mr. Judge. Well, anyway, I want to talk about Mr. Combs before we get to Mr. Chapman.
Okay.
Nothing really happened with Mr. Combs. They just try to milk the goat.
Yeah.
But with Mr. Chapman, so he comes or whatever stuff like that, and she's like doing beekeeping with him. So she's trying to like get the bees from the honey, so she has to like smoke them out.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh my god, I can't do this. Like she's like screaming and stuff like that, which I thought she was being a little extra because she wanted him to maybe come hold her, come comfort her or whatever.
Right.
He did not do anything of the sort.
He was
just like pushing the bees, but you're actually not supposed to do that with the bees. You're actually supposed to leave them to, But so he wasn't trying to comfort her, but it just seemed like she was trying to be extra.
Were everywhere. They were all on her clothes.
Well, that's because you're fearful. Bees attack. They are. I watch a beekeeper quite religiously.
Oh.
But the thing is, she was so fearful. And the thing is, he was screaming. It just seemed like she was just pining for his attention to kind of show her something or whatever. And she was like,
that man is not checking for you.
No, and she knows that. And the thing is, she was just like, he was so great, and he was so helpful, and he just kept me calm. He barely looked at you as you were having your hissy fit. Like, this is why women, we do not win. You do not win. Women, we just have to accept it. We do not win when we decide that we are going to have sex with a man that we want to be serious with
a man,
and you don't win.
It's like, what happens? It's hard for you to see the red flags. So what we can clearly see, because we're not intimate with him, it's hard for you to see because you're so clouded with how he looks at you during the intimacy, right? And that's what you see. It's like you have these scales on your eyes.
But let's be honest. She's not clouded. Because as women,
we
all have intuition.
I think she is.
Like, I might be with somebody or whatever, but deep down, deep down inside, in my gut, I know that man does not want me. And she knows that.
To your gut.
No, you just don't want to. It's like you put on rose-colored glasses. You think that I can change him. Because the thing is, Nicole sees the red flags. And I know she sees them. You know why? Because she says that. She said something very interesting. She said that I can change him. So you are here. You see everything. But you're thinking you're the one who can make it better. Because you have put on your rose-colored glasses to him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I feel like Nicole knows. Because the thing is, you were always telling Mr. Chapman, I want you to show up for me. I want you to do this. I want you to do that or whatever. Like, do you want commitment? You would not be asking a man, do you want commitment several different times if you already knew or didn't know that he wasn't interested. You would not be asking him that if you already knew deep down.
Yeah.
So when a man's interested in you, women, we know what a man is. Even if you've never had it.
Feels like.
Even if you've never had it or you never felt it, it will feel different. It will feel safe. It will feel secure. It will feel like peace. Yeah. When you don't have that in your partner, guess what, boo? He ain't the one for you. He is not the one for you.
Look at that crazy character.
Like, she knows this. So when she says that he played her, you played yourself. Because you kept on letting him come to your boudoir.
He did play her.
And the thing is, Nicole is not like...
coming to her boudoir. He never should have done that.
And my thing is, it's not like you don't know. This man told you he did not want commitment. He broke your heart.
I know.
And you still let him come back.
Men will never
break
up
with
him. He was hoping that she will break up with him. And she did not, and so now he was stuck.
He could walk out though. He was outside with the dramatic music, looking over his shoulder, looking like he wasn't coming back to the castle. You had all that drama, not to leave, just to skip yourself back in.
But that's why he said, almost towards the end, when he said, "I have been trying to talk myself into loving her.
Oh yeah,
and I am so exhausted." And because he was tired, he did not want to continue.
Wait, no, Mom, that's not. We can't get there yet. Okay, hold on. Let's just finish on Bokikio because there's a lot to discuss with Nicole and Chapman.
Okay.
But with Mr. Bokikio, they were plucking eggs or whatever, something like that. His energy was off. She said, "What's wrong?" Stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I personally felt like she was gaslighting him. That's what I felt, honest to God. Because the thing is, he's there saying that, Nicole, it's just really hard for me. Like, you keep on entertaining Lincoln, who has clearly told you he's not interested in it. And he keeps on telling all of us, and you keep on entertaining him. Like, I just don't know. Like, I need reassurance. Yes. And she's like, Danny, like out of nowhere. You know, Danny, I've been meaning to tell you this for a while, but I'm really in love with you. And you know, we're at the end, and you're still at like. So you're here telling me you're in love with me, but you're sleeping with this guy on a regular basis? Like, that's what he wanted to say.
He wanted to say, love me less.
Yes! Love me less when we were called today. Love me less.
That's what love
is. Yeah.
Love is.
I don't want that shit no more. Like, that's exactly what it is. Like, I'm sure he was like, you can't love me. You can't possibly be in love with me.
He had that picture going. It's like,
that picture disgust. Like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, so I thought it was gaslight. So all of a sudden, it's not about you sleeping.
It was kind of gaslighting.
It was.
It was some kind of gaslighting.
Like, so all of a sudden, it's not even about how you're sleeping with Lincoln regularly, but now it's about how I only like you. And he even said, how am I supposed to be vulnerable when I'm seeing what you're doing? The same thing with Mr. Hunter. How the hell can he be vulnerable with you when he's seeing what you're doing? You want people to be vulnerable to you?
Yeah.
You know what warrants vulnerability? Creating a safe space.
Yeah.
Boo.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was ridiculous. I just thought she was out of line, and then of course she doesn't want to talk about it because she knows that Link is not serious. So she puts on her umbrella and walks away in her pink ambiance.
She doesn't want to hear that.
Yes. But anyway, so let's talk about Lincoln. Let's talk about Chapman and Nicole. So now their men have gone. Mr. Bokikio is upset. Well, he did talk to the sister or whatever, stuff like that.
Yeah.
She was shocked. She was like, but all the men are telling me that, they're serious and they see marriage. He said, well, that is not the truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now they're in the parlor, and what does he tell the guys?
Well, the Lincoln is there with Combs and Mr. Judge, and he said, of course, I spent another night with Nicole. So you're talking about it again.
Yeah.
I think there's just like a slight hatred for her.
Ugh.
Men can hate women very quickly. Yeah. You don't have to do much.
Mr. Chapman strikes me as one of those chaps that does not only does he not like probably women, he actually doesn't like himself. And I'm sure maybe he goes to, maybe if you go and you look, he goes all the way part to his childhood. Maybe there's some issue with mommy issues. But he does not like himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does not like himself.
Yeah, so I personally feel like it's just... But yes, Lincoln was talking to the boys and everything, and he basically said that, I spent another night with her, so of course, he's there speaking again. And
I've gotten clarity.
And the thing is, I've just come to the conclusion that I can never love this girl. Just said it straight up, so cold. And then he also said that, if I would have known by now if I was loving with her. And you know what? I am exhausted.
Yes.
Trying to convince myself that I'm in love with her.
And he sounded so hateful.
Like, really
hateful. He was
hateful.
so upset with her. Like it was her fault.
Yes. I was just like, you see? I busted out laughing because I was just like...
chances.
Yeah.
You don't give chances. Not even the first time.
This is also why you don't sleep with people.
They come to resent you.
Yeah. So he spent that night with you. You hear saying that y'all had a great night. The passion, the love was there. The commitment was there. Oh. And he's saying something completely different.
I know, and he's like...
I'm exhausted? Yeah. I'm exhausted?
He said it with such venom. And then he says to the guys...
Like he had run a marathon.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah. And then he says to the guys, the only way that this can work is if here and there I meet up with her and we have a hot fling, and then we don't do anything until we see each other the next time. So
he said it would have to be a fling, basically.
That's the relationship.
And Mr. Judge looked over his shoulder with such disgust. He was like, what? Like, he just looked like he wanted to cuss somebody out, honey. And Mr. Combs was like,
let me get to the desk. I don't have any technology to text her or to call. I am going to write an anonymous letter.
He said that?
Yes. Yes. He says, I'm going to write a letter. He said, it must have been hard during Regency time because you couldn't text anyone and you couldn't call them. He's like, so I have decided to write a letter.
And he
signed it respectfully anonymous. And in the letter, they're sitting at the dining table now.
Yeah, so now this was the same day he's saying this. After he had just spoken to the mother or the father, whoever. Mm-hmm. And, also he lives a very nomadic lifestyle, he was telling the mom.
Yes.
That he will be taking a bird bath so that he doesn't take a shower. He lives in an RV. This is who you want to be with, Nicole?
And the mom asked him,
do you see commitment? He said, I can't put a date on it.
Know. Yeah. So the mom was so she spoke to Nicole, and the dad said, I don't see him as being someone who can provide.
And he said,
I don't even see him as someone who's going to be stable for you.
She said, I just can't. I can't see myself giving my blessings to this one.
And she said that, well, I know
but
that
it is your decision, though.
Yeah, and she said, I could never be with someone who my parents don't really like, I guess.
Girls, everybody has rebelled against their parents one way or another for love.
Well, I guess she doesn't want to rebel against. Maybe she did that before, and she's just like, I'm not going to do it again.
Well, we would hope so, because it's not like they haven't shared their disdain for him. Anyway.
So, at the table...
So, they were going to go outside, but then they had to bring it inside because it was raining. Mm-hmm. And they were all having dinner or whatever. The sister was eyeing Mr. Chapman down. Yeah. Like, she was giving him snake eyes, honey. If looks could kill, that man would have been dead 10 times over.
Yeah, and he made some comment about... Because I guess she was trying to ask about what they were talking about in the parlor. And he's like, oh, what we talk about there stays there. And she was like, oh, please let me in. I want to know. What was said? Yes, that's what she said at the table. And then she asked them, do you guys have any regrets? And he spoke up, I have no regrets. I have, enjoyed myself.
And she kept on saying, no regrets?
No regrets.
Really? No regrets?
No regrets. And he's like, so he was quiet. And then that's when Nicole gets this letter.
Dun, dun, dun.
She first takes it, she's smiling, and as she reads it, it's like...
Her cheeks got all big. Yeah. Like she was maybe trying to bite her tongue or something.
Yeah. And then she walks away.
Well, she's like, cry. Like, I can't even, like, I'm shaking right now. And, like, she's, like, looking back and then looking back and then looking back, like, 3 times or whatever.
And then the sister comes and tells the parents, it's
clearing day. Outside. Can y'all go for a walk?
Yeah, mom and dad.
This is my issue. This is why you are in the situation you are in. This is a courtship. Parents are involved from the beginning in everything. Yeah. Sometimes you actually have your parents on a 3-way text with the person that you're interested in.
Yeah.
You have to have your parents involved. Why you told your parents to go away makes no sense. I actually got offended by that. Because that's not what you do.
Because I guess also no parent wants to hear that some suitor is thinking of their daughter as a fling, I guess. So that's why she was like, no parents should hear that. And the way the mom was crying, I said, probably that's a good idea.
Well, also the mom said that, I was sitting right across from Mr. Chapman, and I was looking at his face the whole time, and I knew what was happening.
Yeah. He had done or said something. So Nicole comes and says, this is my life.
And whoever thinks that this is an epic fling, it's not a fling or whatever. And he's like looking like this.
And she's like, if you don't want to be here, get up and go. He doesn't get up and go. He doesn't say anything.
So she reads it verbatim.
I did not know that he had put that man's name on there.
That's what I was thinking too. So I was just like, Nicole, why you like? I think personally, she was trying to give him a chance
to say something,
or to get up and walk away. But he did neither.
He didn't.
But so she had to actually say it. And basically the letter read was that, Nicole, I hate to tell you this, but I wanted to give you some clarity. Mr. Chapman has spoken to us on several occasions. He told us that he is not in love with you. I have to spend the night with you
and he can't
several
see
times.
Ever loving you.
And it would have to be a hot fling for it to ever be something nice. Right. And she said, so is this true, Chapman? And then he said, respectfully signed, anonymous. And then he's looking at Mr. Combs and Mr. Judge like, really?
I think he thought it was Mr. Judge, because he was looking at Mr. Judge.
Yeah.
He didn't realize, but he kind of looked at Mr. Judge like, and Mr. Judge was looking at him too, because I guess he's disgusted from when he spoke to them earlier. So I think he's thinking,
you have the nerve to be disgusted with me?
So he's thinking Mr. Judge probably must have been the one, because he's looking all at him like this.
He's like, you got some nerve to look at me like this after what you said about Nicole. You better just man up and get your ass out of here.
So then he stands up. He wants to talk to Nicole.
And this is what he said. What she said, is this true? He said, well, I wouldn't word it like that, but yes. And Tessa's like, Tessa looked like disgusted for like a split second. She's like, oh God. And then she's like, but the thing is, I want to talk to you in private. I would not have given that sucker no more privacy. You're not getting no
like,
more of my time. Wait, mother effer. Goodbye.
Child.
I just thought it was ridiculous. So he's sitting down, chit-chatting with her.
He starts to cry.
Oh.
Right away. The tear came down. I'm sorry.
It's the narcissism.
Yes, just the tear pulled in Olajuwon and Zachary. The tear starts falling down. And then he's like,
you know, I wanted to tell you this in private. Like, I was going to tell you tonight.
Ugh.
You should have told me after we slept together, you idiot.
No, before. He never should have come to her boudoir.
Well, he got clarity that night after he probably slept with her.
And then he lied. He says, people were telling him.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. I could not believe.
Say it.
Yes. Okay, so what he said was, you know, the thing that she said, you broke my heart before, and then you came back. Like, what is this? Like, you're playing me. And then he said, the thing is, you know, I left the first time. You know, that's how I really felt. But then people around me was saying that we were such a good couple and that we should make it work.
They
which
could see
might
the
have been
love.
Yes.
Who told you that? Which people?
Production?
No, production told that fool that. Production probably were disgusted with his, you know, like, he just has no character. Like, he just has a really poor character, really. I don't see production telling him anything like that. He was in his dream. He's delusional. And what he was trying to do was, like, blame it on anyone but himself. Other people told me that we looked so much in love, and because of that, I came back to see if it was love. But I've come to find out that it's not. And you're going to find a really good man. And I love the fact that she says at that point, you know, how she's hurt. She cried about it, like she did the grieving. Mm-hmm. And then she says that, like, you play my... I can't
She said, yeah, you're right, and I hope that nobody plays me like this.
Exactly.
And then I said to the point, you played yourself, because it's not like you didn't know. He broke your heart the first time. He was telling you this several times. Yeah. Like, I know you slept with him, but you are here on a show called The Courtship. You are looking for marriage. There should be no sleeping together. I'm sorry if I'm giving harsh love right now, but my thing is, you played yourself. And women, we have got to stop saying that you played me. Because at the end of the day, we know deep down when we should not see with somebody. We know when we should not be with somebody. Mm-hmm. We know when a man don't like us. You cannot tell me that we don't know. Because there's an unease. There's a discomfort. There is some odd feelings.
There's definitely
it doesn't feel
unease.
Right.
When it's love, you don't have that unease. A lot of times women confuse the unease as a man having an edge. No, the man is just
don't want no edge.
Like, it's not about having an edge. It's just the man has you imbalanced. And in the beginning, that might feel like butterflies. But wait until you're in a committed relationship with this bozo. It becomes very exhausting.
And despite all the movies y'all see, love is not supposed to be difficult. It is not supposed to be trials and tribulations. Like, that is not what love is. And love, you're supposed to find your peace and your happiness in somebody. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Like, this don't make no sense. So, I mean, like, Nicole, I just thought it was too much. Like, when you brought him to the room the second time, after he did what he did, I can understand you first time getting caught up and hot in the moment. Yeah. But after he effed you over the first time, broke your heart, told you I'm not ready for commitment, you brought him again? I know. The second time's out of line.
And then he had the nerve to say, am I allowed to hug you? What? Bruh, get out of this place.
Well, the thing is, he thought he could play her because you still coming here talking to me privately.
Because he feels as though if I could just hold her a certain way, maybe she might get confused. But this time she was just like,
and she was
leave.
And then he was looking back, like he took his necktie off. He was looking back. She was looking back. Then she looked forward and ignored him.
She turned her back.
She turned her head this way, and then he was still looking back. Then he looked away, dramatic. And then he walked out the door, and his sister looked at him up and down. And then she walked to her sister.
And when he got to the door, he turned back and looked up. I thought he was going to go back in to go beat up Mr. Coles or whoever.
That would have been funny.
He thought, I thought that's what he was going to do.
But you would have been out of line. Because the thing is, a man who is so, like, he's embarrassing you. You know how embarrassing that is? I'm here sleeping with you. You're telling me one thing, but then when you're with the boys, you're telling them
an opportunity.
You're talking about me badly, and you're saying how you're not committed. I can see why the men are like, is she dumb? Is she dense? Does she not see?
Yeah.
Like, because of what they're telling him. So it's just like, it's bad enough that you sleep with me and you have me all discombobulated, but then you go further to embarrass me.
Yeah.
That's just, if that's not hatred, I don't know what is.
No.
I actually don't know what is. But that was that show.
That was that. Oh my goodness. So next week, I think that's the finale.
That's the finale.
Oh,
I don't know.
who is she going to
Look,
choose?
y'all have to let us know who. I'm thinking she's going to choose Mr. Judge.
Yeah, I hope so.
I'm just having hope
reason,
and
I'm
prayer.
thinking she has been on the Mr. Bokikyo train.
Well, no, but you have to forget that to this time around, she said, those feelings that I had for him first day, like it was fireworks, it just isn't there.
Yeah.
And then also we have to talk about quickly about the whole farewell thing or whatever, stuff like that. And she seemed really happy with Mr. Judge.
Mm-hmm.
With Mr. Bokikyo, she was like, I have butterflies. I actually have butterflies. So now you have butterflies. And then she also told Mr. Judge, I guess I haven't been vocal enough with you to tell you that I see you and I like you and I should have told you. Oh, because you were busy with Mr. Lincoln. So I just like now, because my thing is, what's horrible about this is that all of those men are going to think that they're second choice. Even Danny said it.
Look, Danny did not look amused by her after Mr. Combs told them to bring their downstairs. Like, Danny just looked at her.
Oh, like he was sucking his teeth
like disgust. He had that pinched look again as he looked at her.
And my thing is, that man is just going, I'm not feeling Danny B.
I kind of feel like he will be one of those who will throw that in your face.
He will throw it in your face that I'm here with you. I'm there for you, you know, after you slept with it. Like, he would just be so rude and so crude. Like, somebody who is an a-hole like that with your family and with people around them is not going to treat you better.
No.
Like, I know women sometimes be on their social media saying that I want a man who's an asshole to other people but is a soft teddy bear for me. That don't make no sense.
It don't work.
You have to have basic decency with people.
Yeah.
Which actually speaks to a man's character. Like, it's actually all too much.
This courtship was quite juicy. I can't wait for the next season. But yeah, I cannot wait for the finale.
But it's a finale next week, y'all.
I hope she chooses Mr. Judge.
Well, but her sister was screaming like she was on the floor.
But the sister has always liked Danny B, so I wonder.
Well, the sister said but there was a time when she said that, I'm not really sure about Danny because he is rude. And that she was like, but I like that about him, though. And then she's like, oh, well, okay. Even the brother told her. So, I mean, also, I don't know if she's going to go for another commitment phobe. If she does, then I'm going to just be like, Nicole, you're not serious for marriage. You really not serious. If she chooses Danny B. If she chooses Combs, I don't know what you're thinking about. Because also he's a commitment phobe. Like, the last two guys there are commitment phobes. I'm going to be with a man one day, then maybe you the next day.
I don't feel the sexual or the chemistry between
There's no romance.
And Mr. Combs. And even Miss
I'm
Clary
shocked he's still there.
Miss Clary asked him about that. And he said, what did
well,
he say?
she has to want it.
She has to want it. So
she don't want it from you,
She doesn't want it from Mr. Combs. And
it's really just Judge and Danny.
Yeah.
For real.
I think.
I will be elated if she chose Judge. Gave him a chance and actually saw it through.
Yeah.
He seems like a decent person.
He does.
But if you're with Mr. Bokikyo, he is going to walk all over you and disrespect you every chance he gets because of everything you put him through.
Yeah.
And he will not take that lying down. Once he has you, you just wait for the abuse to come.
Yeah.
Don't
set yourself
don't
up.
Set yourself up, boo. Please don't.
Whew.
That was the courtship.
So that was a courtship. Thank you guys for joining us.
It is Mary
and Alma.
And we want you guys to like,
share,
subscribe,
comment
down below, honey. But yes, please leave a comment because we will be answering all your juicy little comments.
Yes,
we love them. Night.
Bye.